When writing my intros and conclusions, the textbook was really actually helpful when deciding how to get like a hooky intro, kind of like what we described and talked about in class, kind of getting grabbing people's attention from the get-go. In previous speeches I've had to give, I usually just default to humor because it's easiest for me personally. I also just find it easier to think of a joke than think of some like startling statistic or like a historical example or something. Like I usually just, or maybe sometimes I use like analogies or questions. Questions are also pretty easy. It's kind of in most speeches in the past, it's mostly been about what's the easiest for me to think of. Usually, it's not really hard for me to write an intro. They're pretty easy. It's just context, and then a little bit of context, and then what your speech is actually going to be about. For conclusions, the book kind of helped a little bit. I didn't really find a lot of stuff I personally either thought that was worth changing up my style or like that I already haven't already been doing. So, but it's good to keep everything compact and like make it worth actually saying something, but not make it incredibly long. Having a time limit for it, I think, is a good idea, like 15 to 30 seconds. I can kind of pace myself that way. That's also going to help when I'm writing a outline. It's going to help me pace things probably a little better because it's less about you have you have 5 minutes to do an entire speech. You have a little bit more time. You're getting graded on individual time, like 15 to 30 seconds for the intro, this amount of time for the body and stuff like that. Um, yeah,